Hello and welcome to Cricket Happenings, dear friends and subscribers. On this particular day on the show, we are going to look at the first day's play in the fourth Test match that happened between India and England at Southampton, where, as I said, the toss was very crucial. The toss was won by England, but Indian bowlers, extracting a lot of swing and seam, especially swinging the ball all through the day. In fact, bowled out England for 246 with stern resistance coming in from Sam Curran, the all-rounder who made it back to the Test match, and he was the only one who unfortunately missed his century, but he played some attacking cricket to make 78, I suppose. I'll check on that. He runs. And India were unscathed at 19 for no loss in reply. But definitely it will be the Indians who will be batting last on this pitch. But England have definitely frittered away the advantage, one could say, because they could have tried to raise a huge total, raise a big total, but the Indian bowlers actually stopped them with their wonderful swing bowling, and one could see a lot of in-swingers getting the wickets of the England players today. Now, the next thing that I'll be looking at is the Bangladesh have declared the team for the Asia Cup, and Sabir Rahman, who has been in some hot water recently with the Bangladesh cricket authorities, as he had an altercation with a sort of a spectator who riled him, and he has not been in some good form as well. He's in some real trouble as they have dropped him from the Asia Cup. I'll come back to that later, but the more concentration will be on the first day's play, which was an interesting affair. And first, let me talk about the composition. India went with an unchanged team, whereas England had Jonathan Bairstow playing, and as expected, Moeen Ali and Sam Curran coming into the team in the absence of the injured Vokes, and Ollie Pope was dropped. Now, it all started with England actually winning the toss, and one thought it was a very good toss to win because, as I said, this pitch, even though it had a greenish tinge at Southampton, one knows for a fact that after probably 3 days play, the spinners will definitely come into the picture, and that is the reason Moeen Ali has been included. So definitely one could visualize what is going to happen. So in that context, yes, England won the toss, good toss to win, but after winning the toss, one would have expected England to put up a much better total and not get bowled out for 246. Now, this was the handiwork of the Indian bowlers as they extracted a lot of swing. So let's have a look at what happened. First, it was all started off by Jasprit Bumrah. Jasprit Bumrah kept testing Keaton Jennings outside the off stump in the third over of the day, and one could see it was definitely a pitch where they could do some good batting, but it was only thanks to some wonderful swing bowling from the Indian bowlers. Jasprit Bumrah was testing Jennings outside the off stump by giving him 3 deliveries in that particular over outside the off stump, and Jennings was probably forced to think that even this delivery from Bumrah was probably going to swing away. But on the other hand, it straightened sharply and Jennings was trapped LBW. In fact, Jennings offered no stroke, which was surprising, and he was gone. So that was Bumrah actually earning first blood for India. So that was wicket number 1. The next to go, Joe Root came in, was really tested by Ishan Sharma and Bumrah. And then Ishan Sharma got his man once again with some good swing bowling. A very good in-swinger with Joe Root was gone. The ball was actually swinging in at a bit late, and it was the end of Joe Root, and that was a big wicket at India. And now the score read 15 for 2, and definitely after getting Joe Root's wicket, India were absolutely cock-a-hoop. Jonathan Bairstow came in and contributed only 6 runs before a wonderful delivery from Jasprit Bumrah, tremendous delivery from Jasprit Bumrah. This was the ball which he actually you know, I mean, as you know, Bumrah basically relies on the angle with this bowling action that he has. And Jonathan Bairstow was in a real a sort of strife. He did not know what to do. The ball was close to the off stump. He went on the back foot, and that was enough for him to actually. Bairstow was totally squared up, and it was the ball had actually got a tickle onto the bat and into the keeper's hands. And Jonathan Bairstow was walking, caught punt, bowled Bumrah for 6, and now the score at 28 for 3. And Alistair Cook, the veteran, was watching it all from the other end as he was joined in by Ben Stokes. And now, definitely, there was a big job to be done for Alistair Cook and Ben Stokes. Well, I thought they were doing, they were trying to resurrect the situation, which one could see that they were trying to root themselves, especially Alistair Cook was anchoring himself very well. And suddenly, I would say there was a sort of an error on the part of Alistair Cook. He actually went on to have a jab at a ball which was definitely leaving. It was a wide ball outside the off stump from Pandya, and Alistair Cook made the error of actually fishing into it, and it resulted in Virat Kohli at gully taking a good catch, and Pandya was the bowler. Alistair Cook, after making 17 with 3 boundaries, was a goner. And now the score read, as I said, when Alistair Cook departed, the England score read 36 for 4, and they were in real trouble. Now Jos Buttler walked in to join Ben Stokes, and both definitely had to be very watchful, as they could not adopt the route of attacking, because, as I said, all the bowlers, all the Indian bowlers were actually swinging and seaming the ball away and in, especially to really keep the batsman at bay, as Ben Stokes and Buttler had to do a repair job. But Jos Buttler was still trying to play his strokes, and the score and that was the time the next wicket fell, which was the 5th wicket, and the 5th wicket was that of Jos Buttler. After contributing 21, it was Mohammad Shami now getting into the act here, as Buttler was trying to steer a delivery through the slip region, but Kohli was very sharp. He actually showed good reflexes to pick up the ball swung away from Mohammad Shami, and Shami was actually swinging the ball both ways, as it was a loose drive from Buttler, and he was gobbled up by Kohli. And that was the end of Jos Buttler. Caught Kohli, bowled Mohammad Shami for 21 with 3 boundaries. Now half the England side went into the pavilion at 69 for 5, and it was a very sorry situation as Moeen Ali walked in to join Ben Stokes. Ben Stokes had made 23 with 3 boundaries, and now Shami got another wicket. This was the big wicket, one could say, because he actually cramped up Ben Stokes for room there, as this ball was, he was done in by the angle, as this ball was actually coming in from, it was a beautiful inducker from Mohammad Shami, and Stokes was totally done in. He was gone, and he was he was pinned right in front of the stumps, and that was the end of Ben Stokes. Now it was a sort of a big hole into which England had fallen, with the score reading 86 for 6, with Ben Stokes being sent back to the pavilion. Now Sam Curran walked in, so now we had 2 new players at the crease, and also 2 players who had Moeen Ali was Moeen and Sam Curran actually coming back into the team, which I have always been a great advocate of. And Sam Curran came in, and he didn't show any nerves. He was not really perturbed by what is going on. He decided to play his strokes. Moeen Ali was the one who decided to dig himself in. So we had at one end Sam Curran also showed some nice defense, but he was very selective of his stroke making. If any loose ball was served to him, one could say for a fact that it was disappearing, and that's what precisely Sam Curran was doing. And now from 86 for 6, this was a wonderful partnership, They chiseled together a partnership which yielded 80 odd runs, I think 79, because they took the score on to 167. Moeen Ali, even though he hit 2 fours and 2 sixes, he was still a bit sedate. But Sam Curran, as I said, was more selective in his stroke making, with no loose offering being really being spared, one could say. And then after that, Ashwin was the one who picked up the wicket of Moeen Ali as the partnership was going on very well, added 70 odd runs. That was the time Ashwin actually picked him up. Now, Moeen Ali tried to slog sweep Ashwin. It was a top edge, but Bumrah, who running in that mid-wicket region, broke the partnership by taking this catch. But definitely it was a good catch. He had to do a bit of running around there, Bumrah, but held on to that. And that was the end of Moeen Ali. Caught Bumrah, bowled Ashwin for 40, 2 fours and 2 sixes. But he did his job, but he could have still done better, one thought, Moeen Ali. There's Adil Rashid came in and joined Sam Curran. But Sam Curran at that time reached his 50 with a 6, and this is the second time he has reached his 50. This is his second 50 in Test cricket, and he reached it with a 6. So definitely says a lot about Sam Curran as to what a gung-ho approach he has as far as international cricket is concerned. And that is a very refreshing sign, according to me, for England. But then Ishant Sharma actually knocked off Adil Rashid. Now again, as I said, if one had seen, there were a lot of in-swingers that were taking the wickets, and this time Ishant Sharma, returning back for his next spell, actually got a ball which curled in, a beautiful in-swinger, and it was the end of Adil Rashid. There were no reviews remaining, so England had to accept the decision. Adil Rashid gone, LBW bowled Ishant Sharma for 6, and now Stuart Broad came in. So with 177 for 8, definitely now again Stuart Broad offered some resistance, but Sam Curran, on the other hand, as I said, was the one who was playing with lots of confidence. But Stuart Broad was dismissed by Jasprit Bumrah. Now once again, this was a delivery from Bumrah, which actually he went onto the back foot. But again, as I said, there were a lot of in-swingers being served by the Indian bowlers, and a lot of the wickets fell to in-swingers today, and this was one of them, as Broad went on to play onto the wrong line, and that was the end of Stuart Broad. LBW bowled Bumrah for 17 with 1 boundary as James Anderson walked in. The score at 240, and with 6 runs added, and with only the last man James Anderson for company, Sam Curran decided to throw his bat as he tried to hoist Ashwin into the stands. He actually cleared his front leg. He wanted to hoist Ashwin into the crowd, but in the process, he was sooner before the ball delivered. Before the ball dipped, he had already gone with his swing, and the ball went and dipped into the stumps as his middle stump got uprooted, and as Sam Curran definitely would have thought that he would have been good for a century here, frittered away that, and probably he was under the he wanted to make sure that England could get as many runs as possible with only the number 11 James Anderson for company. So the thinking was correct, but his wicket was gone. Sam Curran bowled Ashwin for 78 with 8 fours and 1 6. Anderson not, and the England were bowled out for 246, and definitely after winning the toss and electing to bat, Joe Root would have not been happy with what happened, but the Indian bowlers deserve definite credit. I wouldn't say, yes, the ball definitely was swinging, but the pitch was, I think it was a good pitch because it had a greenish tinge, definitely, but also I thought the England batsmen could have shown much better application than what they showed. Jasprit Bumrah, excellent. 20 overs, 546 runs and 3 wickets to him. Ishant Sharma on the money, 16. Also picked up his 250th wicket in Test cricket. Ishant Sharma, 16 overs, 6 maidens, 226. Hardik Pandya got the vital wicket of Alistair Cook. 8 overs, 1 for 51. It's a gift wicket, one could say. Mohammad Shami did his job of taking the vital wickets of Butler and Stokes. 18 overs, 2 maidens, 2 for 51. Ravichandran Ashwin, 14.4 overs, 3 maidens, 40 runs and 2 wickets. Finishes it off by taking the most prized wicket of Sam Curran, who was resisting stoutly. And so with India, being given 4 overs to face just before close of play on the first day. India went unscathed at 19 for no loss. Shikhar Dhawan was not out on 3. KL Rahul was not out on 11 with the 1 boundary. As Anderson and Broad did not look so nippy or with the new ball. Probably tomorrow morning will be the real test for the Indians in very conditions which would be very suited to the English bowlers, where they could get some swing and seam going, and also a nice morning dew might be there, a greenish tinge on the wicket. So I think England, Anderson, Broad would be hoping to really knock off some Indian wickets pretty quickly. So nevertheless, so that's the match situation as far as the first day's play was concerned at the Rose Bowl in Southampton. And as I said, India definitely would be the ones who had taken the honours after bowling England out for 246. Now, dear fans and subscribers, we do the shifting from here to go to some cricket news, and the cricket news which is coming in from Bangladesh, where Bangladesh, the Asia Cup is approaching, as you know, in the month of September, and the Asia Cup team was announced. So the Bangladesh squad would be captained by Mashrafe Murtaza. Shakib Al Hasan will be the vice captain, but one person who will be missing was Sabir Rahman. Now, Sabir Rahman has not been in good terms with the cricketing authorities as well, because he has been involved in some sort of altercations with the crowds, with the cricket fans, and that is not something which is expected of a cricketer. And very sorry to say that Sabir Rahman has been dropped from the team, and also there's no place for Anamul Haq, who struggled against Sri Lanka, as you would remember. And they got Mohammad Mithun, who they feel has got a lot of talent. He comes in. Ariful Haq and Nazmul Islam has also made it back to the Bangladesh squad. So Tamim Iqbal, Mohammad Mithun, Liton Das, Mushfiqur Rahim, Ariful Haq, Mahmudullah, Mosaddaq Hussain, Nazmul Hussain, Mehdi Hassan Miraz, Nazmul Islam, Rubail Hussain. So Bangladesh have become the first team to have announced their team for the Asia Cup, which is coming up in the United Arab Emirates. And the first game for Bangladesh, I'm just trying to see, their first assignment would be against, they start their campaign against Sri Lanka on 15th of September. Well, dear fans and subscribers, nothing else to really talk about. And as the focus would be on the second day's play between India and England, and England would be planning to knock off some wickets pretty quickly on the morrow in the morning, and India, I would like to stave off the England challenge there. Nevertheless, we will get to know what really pans out at the Rose Bowl in Southampton tomorrow. Till such time, we'll have to wait for it, and till such time I come back to you and narrate the tale to you. And Southampton, it's good night.